Alright everyone, this is the setup 4 out of 5 for my BFS setups. The link to the other ones would be below. There's no particular order you have to watch it, so you can watch this one and then watch the other ones if you want. This one is kind of the transition into bass BFS setups. This is the 7-foot St. Croix light powered blank. It's the Legend Elite series. It's rated down to a 16th ounce, but I think it's realistically between a 16th ounce and an 8th ounce. Either way, it has a nice like lighter tip on there. It has some surprising backbone as well, but not too much that you're gonna overpower like bluegill and stuff like that. Um, the reel I'm running on here is the Daiwa SS AIR. This is an 8.1 to 1 gear ratio, so it's on the faster side. But I mainly use this for plastics anyway and small jerk baits as well. So both of those demand fast gear ratios, at least for me anyway. So that's why I stick with the fast gear ratio. Like right now I have a micro jig on here. I think that's from OSP. And it's a 1.8 gram tungsten head with a 2-inch ripple shad body on there, made by Berkeley. Line on here, 7-pound fluorocarbon line. Like I said in my Airstream custom video, I'm going to run a little bit heavier line because I have setups that can cast those lighter lures. So I'm not worried about getting the lowest weight this setup is capable of. I'm looking for the realistic 1/8 ounce to up to a 1/4 ounce I can handle with this. That's kind of the upper end of this. And when I get up into that 1/4 ounce realm, I'm going to be jumping up to the next rod anyway. I've had this. This is probably my. Let me see real quick. Yep. This is my longest lasting BFS setup that's been in my lineup. I absolutely love it. It's a little long for trout fishing in streams and stuff. This would be great for, a little bit more open rivers, which I haven't done it with it, but a lot of it is bluegill fishing. I get a lot of bluegill on this rod with like a Ned rig or something like that, and then also some smaller bass stuff. I'm throwing light Nico rigs on here, Ned rigs, weightless worms a little bit, mainly these little jigs on here too, jerk baits, top waters, anything really. Uh, One problem I did have with this setup, when I first started using this setup, I remember I was running a light braid. It was actually that gliss line. That I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's like really smooth. It's a pretty good line, but it kind of frays super easy. So, but I was losing a lot of fish when I was running like little crankbaits on this rod, like kind of doing dual purpose. And these bluegill kept shaking the hooks off. So then what I did is I switched to fluorocarbon and I lost a lot less fish on those crankbaits. Uh, it's just that little bit of stretch made the huge difference. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, that it would make that big of a difference with the BFS rod. 7 pound, like I said, that's for the abrasion resistance, and also if, if a big pike or a big bass takes a hold of it, you can still land the fish. I've landed quite a few nice bass on this rod. It didn't really have any problems. I'd like have my drag set to like once my tip hits the backbone, and then I'll set my drag like just past that. So if they do take a sudden surge, I can just kind of point my rod down with them and let them go for a little bit. Um, I don't see this setup ever leaving my lineup. It's just so versatile, and I don't know. I don't talk about it much, but it's definitely one of my most used BFS setups, especially when I'm deliberately going for bluegill. Uh, like I said, I have these other BFS setups. I can cover other bases. This is more of my all around, kind of how my Airstream custom is, but more so on the bass and bluegill side versus like the trout and bluegill side with my Airstream custom. Uh, I have a video as well. I think it's like my 2017 lineups that it shows the taper and stuff. So you want to check that out, go ahead. But make sure you subscribe, comment below, all that kind of good stuff, because come springtime I'm going to be kicking on a lot of BFS footage, as well as some traditional bass stuff. So if you're not really into the BFS stuff, I'll be doing some bass, walleye. I'll try to do some pike. I don't really have any setups for pike to do that right now. It's mainly geared toward bass and walleye, and of course like these BFS ones toward trout and bluegill stuff. But I fish for whatever swims basically. So make sure you check that out. Thanks.